Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Premier League weekend show. I'm here once again with my co-host Lauren. How you doing?
Hello. I'm all right. How are you?
As you saw me on Sunday, disgraceful feeling at the moment with what's going on at our club, but we will get onto that at the end, won't we? We'll save that till very long. Yeah, we will. We got Caldwell joining us today. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, pretty much the same as you two, really. It's I'm laughing, but really inside I'm not.
Yeah, it is one of those feelings, and it's very strange. Yes, do take the mickey out of us if you are in the chat. It's fine. I can take banter. It's fine, honestly. Just don't be too rough with us, all right, today. Still got a sore head. So let's talk about the weekend's results. And starting off, of course, Friday. Arsenal fans feeling great at the moment, especially seeing our downfall at the moment. They're probably thinking, wow, we're having a great time with Arteta. beating Aston Villa 3-1. I mean, Lauren, what did you make of the game? I watched the highlights. I was pretty impressed.
I think this is now the start. Try that again. This is now kind of now their part of the season where they're going to kind of hit a stride. I think Arsenal, they're going to gain a bit of confidence from this, and they are really going to start to push on now. I think they kind of do that all the time, don't they? Really. So it was a good win for him. Aston Villa are a decent team, but I think Arsenal showed a lot of promise in that game. So there's not more really you can say about them. Really, it's now their time, I think, to kind of hit a bit of a stride.
Yeah, it is. I think they've got some good fixtures coming up as well, which they probably will get 3 points from, most of them. What do you make of Arsenal at the moment as well, mate? Because they started off really bad, but they've hit some good form recently, and Aston Villa are no pushovers, as we know. So they done well.
Yeah, I mean, I tipped Arsenal to be in and around the top 6 spots with Leeds United actually as well. But Leeds are obviously in a bit of a stickier patch than Arsenal are. But you've got to take into consideration Villa have lost, their talisman in Grealish, and like you say, with Arsenal, I think there's a bit of that mentality coming back. That kind of little bit of that kind of arrogant, we're better than you type attitude. Which, if they do get that back, then you know what? I think it's more than likely that they will end up in the top 6.
Having players like Smith Rowe and Saka surely is good for Arsenal at the moment. Smith Rowe's on fire. He must get an even call up, I'm pretty sure, from his performances recently. Would you say, Lauren, as well? He looks like he's a hot prospect for the future, doesn't he? For England, for international, and for Arsenal.
Oh, absolutely. But I think what we need to be careful about, which I think we kind of, as a country, do. We get these young English players, and we straight away, after less than a full season, we're saying that they're the next best thing for England. They're going to be the world beaters, and we get disappointed. We need to think sometimes with a lot of English players, we need to set the standard a little bit lower for them, so then they can surpass that, and we can, they're not under that pressure to be the next best England player.
Do you think Aston Villa can bounce back from this? I mean, they've had quite a good season so far, seeing as, like you said, talk that they've lost their talisman. You think they can bounce back from this, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, since Dean Smith took over at Villa, there's been a huge improvement, and it did take a little bit of time, but he's getting there. And look, it's a one bad result against a team who, in Arsenal, are still clinging on to the yesterdays and what they were and everything else, a little bit like ourselves. And you know what, Mikel Arteta is, listen, I know the Arsenal fans are not 100%, half and half, I believe it is. But listen, he's no mug, Mikel Arteta. He knows the game. He's not going to be Pep Guardiola's number 2 for as long as he was, and win alongside Pep what he won. So I always believed that there was something there for Arsenal with Mikel Arteta, and maybe now we're just seeing it that sort of crack in the door opening up more wider and wider and wider, and then you know what, it could be it could be a really good finish to the a good season for Arsenal. But I do believe Villa will come back.
Yeah, I believe
there's too much quality there. There's too much quality there for them not to.
Lauren, we were talking about Norwich last week, weren't we, and how they don't really give us anything in the Premier League, and they certainly didn't in this result, losing a player as well for a red card. 7-0 Chelsea, and Mason Mount getting a hat-trick. I just can't even say anything really for Norwich. This is expected, isn't it, really?
I genuinely think, and this is, I can't even start the sentence with this is no disrespect, but they're genuinely the worst team, I think, that have ever been in the Premier League, because they come up and go down. They come up, they go down. They come up, don't spend any money. I don't see the point in them, and I don't see the point if they smash it in the Championship, they come up, they get the promotion money and don't do anything about it. It's watch themselves go back down again. It's so predictable, this kind of scoreline. I'm surprised it's not 7 or 8, 9-0 week in, week out for them.
Yeah.
It just becomes a painful watch and a boring watch because there's never any fight. So this 7-0, as soon as I saw the first goal go in, and I knew it was going to be a game like this. And the fact that they're getting people sent off as well, it's just very, very boring from them. It really is. And I struggle to find anything redeemable about them.
What about Chelsea on the other hand, though, Lauren? I mean, fantastic.
Chelsea are
right?
absolutely flying. They
don't even have Lukaku, and they're scoring goals, right?
Exactly. They're not even missing him. But you know, a hat trick for Mason Mount, that's great for him. I just think, you know, you've got like they had was it Chilwell scoring as well, and Reece James. You know, you've got them on the score sheet. So yeah, I think it was really good play for them. You know, you've always got to say you got to beat who's in front of you. You know, so just because it was Norwich doesn't mean they had to play bad. They played well to get those 7 goals.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Tal? Agreeing with that? I mean, Lauren said it completely. I think like Norwich are just non-existent really in getting results in the Premier League, and they probably more than likely will go down. I think get relegated.
2 words spring to mind: rabbit and headlights. That's what it was like. It's rabbit and headlights in this situation. And Chelsea being Chelsea, you know, Tuchel was not going to give them any opportunities whatsoever, considering who he had out in the team. The way they pressed Norwich, Norwich didn't know whether they were coming or going. They're all over the shop, absolutely encircling, tying them in knots. So you know, and for me, I think they need a real reset. They need to. I mean, Farker. You know what? Look, I don't know if you agree, but for me, I think he's done all he can do there at that club. They need to reset. They really do, and they need to get a manager in who's going to get them. The first base is organisation at the back. You know what I mean? You've got to be hard to beat, and then build from there. Because if you're not providing a difficult game for oppositions, and then you're trying to play some kind of, I don't even know what it is he's trying to play, Farker, if I'm honest with you, then you're going to struggle a lot. You're always going to struggle. You know,
it's almost like sorry to butt in, but it's almost like they haven't prepared. Like they went down the season before. You think, right, you got to prepare yourselves if you want to at least stay up for another season. At least try and do that, Norwich, please. Like, because it just feels like to me that they know they're going to get relegated, and they're only there just for the fact that they get the television rights from the games, and they don't really care whether they stay up or not. And I know the fan base definitely want to stay up, so I don't know why they didn't like kind of, you know, get relegated, look at it a different way. Like you said, Farkas, what sort of games he playing? It just seems exactly the same as when they were last in the Premier League, which is just non-existent football.
Yeah, it's you know what, if they're happy with that as a club, then yeah, you know, it's fine. Let them do what they need to do. You know, if they think they can sort of use the money pocket some money and do, I don't know. I mean, I'm just sort of summarising here, because otherwise, if they did really want to be successful and challenging for any kind of sort of honours, then, you know, there would be serious investment in the club. And also, like I say, first base is defending. You've got to start. It all starts from the back. You can't, you know, unless you're like, you know, Liverpool or Barcelona, where you're just going to totally, you know, dominate the ball anyway. And it doesn't really matter what's going on behind you, because you're always going to outscore the opposition in most cases. And different story, but they're not there. Miles away from that.
They are indeed, and it was very cruel on Tim Krul as well, might I add.
Nice. Oh, nice one, Matt. I like it.
I know, being a bit cheesy, it cheered me up, you know, after this weekend's results for us. You know, that felt good. That felt really good. Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1. I mean, Newcastle scraping a point here. Wilson again on the score sheet. What do you make of this result here? I mean, Palace have been doing all right as well under Patrick Vieira. How could I forget that? How could I forget that? Right, seriously. Lauren, what did you make of it?
Wilson, I think, is going to be a great player going forward. I don't think he's going to stay at Newcastle for very long, depending on obviously how they progress with the new takeover. But I think probably in the the coming months this season, or even after next season, if he can continue to play the way he has the potential to play, I think he's going to be a great player. But you know, this game, it was a little bit, Newcastle scraped a point, you know, basically what they needed after last weekend. Because I couldn't see them beating Crystal Palace, because like you just said, Crystal Palace are having quite a decent run under Vieira. And I think they'll continue to improve, if I'm honest, Crystal Palace. So I think where both of these clubs are at the moment kind of reflects, the score reflects it at the moment. But I think we're going to be watching Crystal Palace just get a little bit better as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. You know, I'm excited to see what Vieira can do, not just necessarily this season, but if they keep him for a much longer contract extension or something for another year or two, that would be good. I'm not sure actually how long his contract is, whether it was a year or two, but it'd be nice to see him in the Premier League for a little while. And I know Arsenal will be sniffing around him, I'm pretty sure, if he does well. What's your thoughts on this result?
I agree. I mean, Crystal Palace under Vieira, you know, I did think as well, actually, that Vieira would make a good manager, because there's something about him. Whenever you watch him talk and speak, he has a certain way about him. There's something likable about Patrick Vieira. And I just kind of had a feeling that he would do a decent job. And for Newcastle, I mean, look, they're in suspended animation at the moment. You know, they've just been took over by a country. Okay, and then the manager's sacked. All the players are like, you know, in their minds, they're on pause, because they're like, wait a minute, what's going to happen to me now? So, you know what, Newcastle, it's a kind of melancholy situation from Newcastle, and one hand it's amazing, and on the other hand, for a lot of the players, it's uncertainty and like, where do I go from here, and talking to agents and all that. So I don't think the Newcastle players are fully focused on, you know, the job that is at hand on the pitch. So to get a point out of that game, I think they've done rather well, to be fair. So, you know what, I mean, but listen, Newcastle are in a position now where they are going to, if it's Fonseca who does come in, you know, we'll see what he can do. But I think they'll be fine for this season in terms of staying in the Premier League. I don't think they've got any other ambition than that at this moment in time. But it's the coming seasons where we're then going to see the real ambition.
Well, it's just to beat relegation, surely, Lauren, isn't it? That's really, they don't want to go down after getting these new owners in, because, you know, it won't do them any good. They've got to, you know, get promotion, and that's, even if you've got a lot of money backing behind you in the Championship, it's very hard to get out of. So they definitely don't want to go down.
No, definitely not. I think they've got to do whatever they can. If they need to just, you know, get points here and there, they just want to make sure they don't lose points, or, you know, come out of a game with no points. So I think just even any way possible, even just scraping draws here and there, is what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to do what they can just to kind of stay out of that relegation zone.
Yeah, completely agree. Let's move on to Leeds 1, Wolves 1. Leeds are finding it difficult, aren't they, to get wins at the moment. Bielsa, I think I heard on the commentary as well, he got off of his little box, and it's like very rare that he does that. And he was like, motivating up and down. And yeah, he's a bit agitated, I think, about the start of the season so far for Leeds.
I think they had a bit of first season syndrome, and they're now thinking, shit, this is actually a job we've got to do, and we've got to play the Premier League standard. And I think we've said this many times now that the too predictable Bielsa ball, everyone knows how to play against it now, so they're getting found out and they're getting stuck. They're struggling with ideas. Probably lucky to get a point out of this game, to be honest with you. So, that's 1-1 again. It's one of them games. I think Wolves really should have won it, to be honest with you. But then a lot of people would also say that, Leeds have got the tools and the players to win that game too. So it's one of them. It could have gone either way. So the draw.
Yeah. They're quite matched, aren't they,
Lauren? Yeah. They're at that kind of slightly same level, but I do think Wolves have got more of the skill.
Yeah, I think it's Jimenez. I love Jimenez. I think he's a great player, especially like coming back from his fractured skull, which is difficult. You saw Petr Cech coming back from that as well. Everyone found that horrific when it happened. So glad to see him back in football. Yeah, talk. I know you don't like Leeds.
Look,
we don't.
But listen, I love. I hate Leeds, right? But
can't stand them.
I love the way Marcelo Bielsa sets the team up and the way they play. I love the 3-3-1-3 system because listen, Leeds, they'll be fine this season. No two ways about that. They will be fine. They're gonna hit a run, and they'll bang again. The problem they've got is that they need some serious investment in terms of the squad. You've got to remember that he's took that squad from last season up from the Championship, then for a Premier League season with being I think it was 5 points off top 6. Then, and to play the kind of football that they play, the intensity they play at, it's so difficult. And you know what? It can be mentally exhausting. And I think that's what we're seeing right now is the mental strain of what he's trying to get them to do. Because it's not just a style of football that they play. A bit like Manchester City, it's a lifestyle. This whole everything around Leeds United and what they do. It's from what time you go to bed, so what you eat, and when you train, what time you train, and everything else. It's all encapsulated within Bielsa's magic bubble. And I just think if he gets some personnel in, maybe in January possibly, just to help them to make sure that they do stay up this season, then in the summertime, if he is going to stay, they're going to have to spend some big bucks. Wolves, I mean, yeah, they've got some good players. Neves, Jimenez. That's about the only two that really would say really stand out for me, massively. I wouldn't really, if you talk about going to other Premier League clubs, them two, obviously we've been linked with Neves. Jimenez coming back from his injury. He's done quite well, but I think there's always going to be a slight trepidation, shall we say, from him for a long while yet to come, just because it's not, what I mean, when you get that.
I guess he's got to have another knock on it, unfortunately, in a game for him to get over that fear of maybe hurting himself.
Yeah, because he's going to be thinking, he's going to be thinking at the moment he's made like an eggshell, But like you say, once he does get something happen, then he gets a challenge on it, and then they look at it afterwards and say, no, it's fine, you're fine. It's healed and it's even stronger than it was before. Then we may see say him come fully out of his shell once more, but we may never see him come out of his shell ever again. We've seen it with players before where they've been that injury and it's just they've never been the same. So, but I think considering where they both are, I think 1-1 draw. I think Leeds would have been more disappointed, though, if I'm honest with you.
I think Wolves have adapted quite well under the new manager. So I don't know. I think Leeds are finding it hard. I think they know they are. But I mean, well, I think for me, anyway, as my opinion, Wolves definitely felt like they could have got something from that. But,
I think just better. I mean, you got to bear in mind with that with Leeds, you know, they've got this manager here he's like, you know, we talk about Jimmy Hogan, you know, being the father of modern football in Europe, right? But Bielsa, he's like, you know, he's like the magician from South America, you know, and we all know what Pep Guardiola thinks about him. We know what all the other coaches think about Marcelo Bielsa. So for me, Leeds would have been disappointed. Marcelo Bielsa will always be disappointed unless they come out victorious and played well. So, you know, this is the mindset. There's also then the kind of philosophy and the mental attitude that he's trying to instill at Leeds. If some of the players aren't on board with it and can't fully understand what it is, then that's why they'll need to be shipped out and players come in who can.
Well, talking about people coming in and making a change, we'll talk about this result. Probably the result of the weekend, probably the game of the weekend as well. I do believe Everton went up 2-0, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, Watford coming back and beating them 5-2. It's amazing from Ranieri as well. I mean, people like saw him against, was it Liverpool? They lost 5-0 last weekend and then scoring 5 goals this weekend. Amazing, right, Lauren? What a result.
Oh, it's a cracking result for Watford, and it's going to bring them a lot of confidence when I think they did feel very defeated. They were defeated a lot, you know. So I think it was a good result for them, obviously. Great result for them. You know, you've got, I think, was it King with a hat-trick? So I think great result, absolutely awful for Everton, in all honesty. So it was a great weekend all round for the Scousers, wasn't it, really? Watching Everton lose like that and then beat United.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they were well happy.
I think it was unfortunate for Everton, but you know, Watford played a great game, and for them to come back from a 2-0 down to 5-2, it's gotta be applauded. It's a really great result, and it's obviously could potentially show what changes Ranieri is making and what he can make going forward for that squad to, you know, work the way up potentially.
Yeah, I think they could actually. I think they could do very well. I mean, I watched the game and the way they took their chances as well. And King, like you said, I think King was at Everton. Was he not at some point? I think he was an Everton player.
I think you could be right here.
So I just think because I remember him goating about it, and you know, because obviously he was at Everton at the ground, so scoring a hat trick there is really good for him as well. What did you make of the result?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about Norwich, and this is the chalk and cheese, isn't it? You know, Norwich, Watford. You know, this is what, you know, you bring in the new manager, and then Wallop. I mean, yeah, it was a disappointing result for Everton. There's no two ways about that. I think some shoddy defending going on there as well, to be honest.
Just to say, he did play for Everton. Joshua King.
Yeah.
Joshua King, yeah.
You were right.
But to concede 5 from Everton's point of view, I mean, do you know what? Rafa Benitez must have been fuming. He must have been absolutely fuming with that. You know, you're talking about a manager here who's won major trophies and has come into the other side of Merseyside, you know, to try and bring something of what he had going at Liverpool. But it seems to be a bit of a struggle at the moment. It really does.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I know they don't like him anyway, do they? So it's not really helping, is it? I mean, if he was just a normal guy off the street, like they'd be like, "Oh, it's okay, man. We'll give you time." But when it's Rafa anyway, they kind of like, "Well, look, you know, time's ticking, Rafa. You know, we don't want you here anyway."
To the Lions, didn't he? Really?
Yeah, I know. I mean, look, coming in from China as well, it was nice to see him come back to the Premier League, but. Yeah, I think that's going to be difficult for him to win the hearts of the fans and get results for the team. I just can't see it happening. Let's read out a few comments. Actually, we haven't done that yet. Alex Goodwin Clark awaiting. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Do smash the like, share, subscribe if you can. It really does mean a lot. Anthony, best scoreline of the weekend, 3-1 against Villa. Fair enough. I will still say the Watford game is probably the best result. I'm not going to say anything about Liverpool winning at all, even though it was good for them. Matt said Man United are like a tin of beans. They fall off the shelf once they're down, but staying down. Well, I didn't quite say that.
You know better than that.
I said we got open like a tin of beans, which we did.
Yo,
Chris Paul, hello, my friend. How you doing, Chris Paul? Thank you. Tuning in from, where is he? You still in the, is he still in
from
Dubai?
India. I think he might be still in Dubai, yeah, but big up Chris. I've seen you for ages.
I'm on holiday in Cornwall in the clubhouse watching this, and these kids are all running around the little beep, won't keep still. Thanks for sharing that with us, Anthony.
Shah, big up Shah.
Big up Shah from Man United Agenda. Yes, King was at Everton. Thank you for that, mate. I like that when it happens, when you guess something on a live stream and it comes to fruition. Really glad about that. Okay, Lauren, going into Southampton and Burnley 2-2.
Yeah.
Again, I think another matching pair here. Like you wouldn't know who would win this game, really. So I think both getting a point. That's kind of what I would have predicted.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, yeah, they're both kind of at the same stage, aren't they? They're both, yeah. I think with these two as well, it's not, you're never really going to get the most exhilarating game playing against each other. So I think a 2-2. Can't talk today. I think I'm still recovering from the weekend. A 2-2 draw. I think again that kind of reflects them and what the game would be. You know, you still get that kind of high scoring 4 goals, but there's no one that's really above either in terms of levels. So yeah, it's quite a good reflection on them, really. And to be honest, can't lie with this one. It's not, didn't take the greatest of interests with it. But you know, it's a decent point taken for both of them, really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like I completely agree, and I just think that they're, like you said, on the similar level. So, you know, it's expected to get a draw if you're on similar levels. I mean, they probably both feel like they could have got a win out of that. But you know, looking outside of the bubble and not being a fan of either team, I'd say 2-2 is a fair shout. Talk.
Yeah, I mean, out of those two teams, though, if I was to pick who did I think would sort of take the victory, I would have definitely backed Southampton, just because of Hasenhüttl. For me, he's a much better manager than Sean Dyche. As good as Sean Dyche is at doing what he does, I think Hasenhüttl, has got more of a tactical approach, I would say, than Sean Dyche. So I'm a bit surprised, to be fair, that why are Southampton kind of struggling so much? They kind of blow hot and cold, don't they? You know, and it's a bit of a strange one that, you know, I don't know. But again, you got to look at these managers and you got to think, what's the problem here? Is it personnel? Is it, you know, is it the attitude of the players? You know, is it the attitude of the club, the mentality of the club? What's going on? Because
Sean Dyche has done a fairly good job with Burnley, I'd say, with the tools he's been given by the owners. And
it's a very, I mean, I know what you're saying, Matt, but look, you know, nobody likes to play Burnley, do they? Because of the way they play. You know, they're very aggressive. They're very in your face. They're very difficult to break down. And you know, that's about it, really, isn't it, for Burnley?
It is. We can just move on from that one, like Lauren said as well. I wasn't really too interested in this one, so we'll move on to one, unfortunately, with our rivals. Beating Brighton 4-1. Another great result from them, doing things. You know what I was thinking as well? Look, from a Man United perspective, I think we should have got Pep when we had the bloody chance, because he's done so well at Man City, to be fair. And I know he's like still trying to get the Champions League for him, and I think he will eventually if they keep with him. But yeah, Lauren, they're doing great at the moment, aren't they? Go on, talk. What?
No, yeah, I was just going to say Pep was actually offered the job in a roundabout way by Alex Ferguson in, I can't remember what year it was. It was in New York. We were having a dinner together.
I thought he went for a meeting, then he just chose David Moyes.
No,
That's what
it was. So this was offered to Pep a long time ago, way before Alex Ferguson let it be known that he was going to retire, because that's where Ferguson could see the future. But listen, you're not going to. Why would Pep Guardiola, being the ambitious young manager that he is now and was even more so then, want to take on a club that has done like everything under Alex Ferguson? There's no way he could have bettered that. He wouldn't have bettered it. No way. So he wouldn't have agreed. And that's exactly why he went to City. It was not a case. It wasn't a case of, FU United or anything like that, disrespect to Man United. It was a case of, look, there's an opportunity for me here to go in and to create a legacy. To be, in fact, to try and mirror some of the achievements of Alex Ferguson, because he does look up to Alex Ferguson. He respects him massively. So that's why he ended up at City.
And he's been doing well, hasn't he? I mean, Lauren, what do you make of them at the moment, Man City? I mean, Pep's doing a great job at the moment.
He is. Firstly, all my best friends are City fans. So I was with them all on Friday night. And I was getting absolutely hounded by him. And I could not say anything. And then in the group chat on Monday morning, Sunday night, I was getting it all from him. So it's sickening when I see these kind of results from them. But I think Foden is just he's just improving every single game, and to get two goals that game as well. I think they kind of they're expected to beat Brighton really, but I think they're really just a force to be reckoned with. City, there's kind of no stopping them at the moment, is there? What Pep's done there is unbelievable, and as much as it absolutely pains me to say, they are just head and shoulders above the rest. And what pains me as well is actually there's not a single player in their squad that I dislike. And I actually enjoy watching them. And that's what kills me the most about City at the moment.
Yeah.
I want to hate them. I really want to hate watching
You just
them.
can't.
But you can't. It's mesmerising, and what Pep's done and the ideas he has, the tactics, how he uses each player. It is just so good. And I think he's shown, him and the players shown that on Saturday, just how well they all work together. They play as a team. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons they got rid of Aguero, is because I think he was that bit of chink in the armour that wasn't, working with the rest of them.
Yeah.
And as everyone says, no one's bigger than the team. So I think they did the right thing and, got rid of him. And I think, again, it's just showing this season how well they're doing. That everything is working. And as I say, they were expected to beat Brighton, really, but you still got to go and do it. And they did.
Yeah, and they did it very well as well. Brighton didn't look like they didn't have a chance at all getting anything out of that. But I mean, Brighton have done quite well, haven't they, recently? I mean, they're still in the top 5, 6, aren't they?
Oh God, yeah, they still do. I think Graham Potter's great for them as well. But City in it.
City, yeah, it's too good, aren't they? They're delicious to watch. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I'm a football fan first, so you just got to admit it. You got to be humble. Talk, feeling the same on that?
Yeah, I mean, Pep's a footballing genius, isn't he? He's absolutely, he's probably the best in the world at the moment. No two ways about that. And when you look at with Manchester City, the way he gets the team, and I've been banging on about this for ages, about you give your players individual responsibilities that they fully understand and are capable of doing, you can weave them into any kind of shape you want, and they will do it. This is the art of Pep Guardiola's approach to the game and the management style of thing with the individual players, And also, I believe that he wasn't really all out for Harry Kane, because when he signed Jack Grealish, I was saying, well, why is he's not going to be putting him really all the time, going to abuse him out on the left hand side. I think he's going to use him as a false 9, because a little bit of coaching in Jack Grealish, because of his trickery, his movement, and his kind of strength on the ball and stuff. He can work that. He worked that really, really well. And you know what? I mean, Manchester City, they're going to be For me, they're the winners of the Premier League this season. Not already for me. There's no. I know Chelsea. I think they're 2 points ahead of them at the moment. Chelsea.
We'll have a look in the end if you don't know.
But
we'll
the City have got they've just got far too much in their locker in terms of longevity, in terms of going on runs and stuff like that. I mean, we talked about the Chelsea game early on, but at the end of the day, it was so easy for Chelsea. It really was, and I don't think it's going to be that easy every week. But Brighton, I love Graham Potter. I think I agree with what Pep says. Most exciting young manager at the moment in the Premier League. And will he get a big chance at our big club? I don't know. I'd like to think so.
I just don't know with that. I think there's a lot of English managers that potentially go below the radar, and we bring in, from overseas and things. And I think he should absolutely should, but I just don't know whether it's unfortunately ever going to happen that he will get that opportunity. Yeah,
I completely agree. He's a good manager, and I do think maybe England manager one day, but one day. I know Arsenal would like him. What are you laughing at?
This result.
We do. But look, before you start laughing at them, remember we're playing Spurs this weekend.
I know, but I can't. You can't listen. I mean, they're all over the shop, aren't they? Spurs. If I don't know what happened between them and Conte, right, when they were trying to appoint him, but they totally naffed it up. And for me, I'll tell you this right now: Spurs are going to do nothing whilst Daniel Levy is at that club. I'll tell you that right now. If I don't understand the owner, I know Daniel Levy's got like some kind of shares in the club and all the blah blah, but at the end of the day, for me, he's got to step down from that position and let somebody else come in and oversee the running of the club. Because as it stands right now, why would you not? This is what I don't understand. They know they're struggling. The manager in, manager out, manager in, manager out. So close yet so far. Somebody wants to come in, buy Harry Kane, one player. All right, great striker, but they want to give you 100 and whatever it was million. I mean, dearie me, get him sold. Get him sold and go and buy a load of more players for your squad. You know what I mean? It was absolutely bizarre. You cannot be standing up and making a stance as if to say, no, we're not a selling club. We don't need to sell. No, we don't need to sell. But no, but you do, though, because you're crap. And you've not done anything for so long. And you everybody, a lot of Spurs fans, it's like, the nearly team. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And for me, like I say, he's got to go for me. If I was a Spurs fan, you want to see the back of him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They probably will, won't they, Lauren? That's the thing. Like, I think if he loses or if Ole loses, they're both walking a thin line at the moment, aren't they? Both managers of both clubs for that game coming up this weekend. And losing to West Ham. I mean, look, they've been doing really good recently, haven't they? I mean, they've had a great start to the season and getting Europa League as well. We thought, and we talked about it last week, the fact that it might like throw them off a little bit, but they've, like you said, they've how would you say it? Washed in it, you know what I mean, and enjoyed it.
They've relished in it, haven't they? They've really have. Like, I think David Moyes is just doing brilliant things there, and I think the way he did it from, obviously got United, then going abroad, he came back to kind of say, look, I can still do it in the Premier League, and I'm going to prove everyone wrong who didn't give me the chance at Manchester United, who thinks I'm washed up after Manchester United, who thinks I can't do it, I'm not the manager for a job. He's come back and he's gone, look, I can bloody do it in this Premier League. And again, he's formed a team that work really, really well together. Their structure, the positioning is brilliant. For Spurs, I don't know how long Nuno's going to be in this job. Harry Kane, the less said, the better. If I'm honest with you, he's give up. He's give up in that club now. He don't want to be there. I don't know why they're persisting with him. Bring someone in January to be your striker, who's going to want to play for your badge, because Harry Kane certainly doesn't.
You don't, and
it's a shame.
Do you know what as well? I think for the goal when Antonio Hopkins, might I say, by the way, I said Antonio Valencia earlier, didn't I?
You did.
Whoopsie. Yeah, look, he was the one marking him, Antonio, when that goal went in from the corner. So it's not very good for him, is it, at the moment? And look, I agree with you as well. He probably doesn't feel good, the fact that he really wanted that move away. He's a silly boy for signing that very long contract with Spurs, and the fact that he can't really get out of it. And like you said, Talk, as well, Daniel Levy or Levy or whatever you want to pronounce it, said that he's not going to. He gave him like some sort of gentleman's agreement or something, didn't he? And then he's like said, look, it's not in contract, so I can just say no. It doesn't really matter. And I think that hurts Harry Kane. I think he really wanted to get out. He's at his prime right now. He wants to look for that one big move because he's never really had it, has he? So, Talk, what do you think about? Well, you kind of already said, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's, you know, Harry Kane. But again, I don't think Pep. I don't know how much Pep really wanted Harry Kane, because he made the statement, I'm not going to spend over 100 million. Then I think that was then, the club, sort of keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But Pep obviously had his eye on Jack Grealish anyway, so there's 100 million spent there. So I don't know. I think for me it was all a bit of a kind of, ask the question from Pep's point of view. Ask the question, and then if they're not interested, so what? So what? No big deal. But for Harry Kane himself, what does he have to do right now? I mean, you've got to look at this in terms of where they are as a team, where they are as a club, the manager they've got in charge right now. A manager who's come from a team that didn't really, well, he was sacked from a team that were not really, occasionally playing some decent football. I mean, how do you quantify that? I don't where the value is in that. It makes no sense. You reject the sale of a player who wants to leave for big bucks, but then on the other hand, you then bring in a manager who's been sacked. It's like, wait a minute, that makes no sense to me.
He wasn't sacked, I don't think, was he?
He was sacked. He was sacked, Matt. There's no two ways about that. He was sacked, mate. It's a nonsense. Don't sell it. I'm telling you, he was sacked.
I'm just saying, they'll always deny it. You'll never get the truth.
Of course he will, but he was sacked. Let's have it right. Listen, he hit a brick wall there at Wolves. Mm-hmm. So, but like I say, you're turning down 150 or whatever it was mil for one player, taking a stance of we're not a selling club. But then again, you're going to go and take a manager who's sacked, who's not really, he's not really done that much. They could have sold Harry Kane, took half the money towards another striker, right? And then use the rest of the money to entice another, Conte or whoever. Look, we'll give you silly wages and we'll give you as much as we possibly can for transfer windows and everything else. They could have took the 160 off whatever it was he was offering City, and spent 60 on a striker and put 100 million aside for Conte or whoever. You know what I mean? But again, it's the mentality of the club. It's the vision of the club. It's more, if it's like for us, like Man United fans, business based, then obviously it's never going to get solved, is it?
No. Agreed. We'll move on because we've got two left, and I know the last one's going to be difficult to talk about. Brentford 1, Leicester 2. Leicester doing all right. Of course, they beat us 4-2. Then they go on to beat Brentford. What do you make of this result for Leicester, Lauren? And the Brentford, again, losing, unfortunately. Difficult for them at the moment, but Leicester doing amazing.
I'm worried for Brentford, and I just got a notification from Sky that's what I was checking then. Their keeper's now out for 4 months with a knee injury. So it's not going their way at the moment, is it really? They are going to have, it's the first season in the Premier League. They are going to have struggles. And when you play in the likes of Leicester, who are, well, I was going to say they're on a decent run. We started that. But, Leicester always find the feet, don't they? And I think this is their time, like Arsenal, to find the stride. And so when you play in Brentford first season in the Premier League, you're going to be up for the game. And I think Leicester shown that for Brentford to get that goal, fantastic for them. And I don't think, I think Brentford will stay up this season, but like I say, they are going to get losses. It's normal, especially in your first season. So I don't think they should be worried. Brentford should worry too much. But again, a great result for Leicester. They can kick on now and get some more results out of these games going forward.
Completely agree. I think they could definitely go on a good streak of wins at the moment. Leicester, I think they've got some easy-ish fixtures as well coming up. So doing all right, aren't they? Talk at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a decent manager, Brendan, isn't it? There's no two ways about that. You know, he will steer them in the right direction. We know that. That's a given. Whether it be to the top 4 spots, I don't know. Maybe they might just have enough this season. Maybe they may well have enough to do that. I don't know. But for Brentford, I really like their manager, like Thomas Frank. I think he's a really great manager. He's got loads of great ideas, and he's got them doing everything really well. We spoke about this before. You know, they can break teams down. They can defend. You know, they can break on you. But I mean, you know what? I think this will be a learning curve for Brentford and Thomas Frank, because you know what, you go up against some teams who will keep a really good shape on you, and you then try and push and overload on a certain area of the pitch. That's where you'll get slapped. That's where you'll get stung if you're not. You know, and I believe this will be a learning curve for Thomas Frank. I think he will learn from this, and going into the next game. You know, there's times when to try and overload and push and press and sort of bully your way up the pitch, and there's times not to. You know, you've got to pick your fights, when to fight, you know, on what areas of the pitch against different oppositions. It's not always. There's not one blueprint for going out and just play. You know, winning a game of football. You've got to know your opposition and what's, you know, we already know this anyway. You know, what's their weak side, left, right, through the middle, whatever, you know, blah blah blah. But again, I do believe Brentford will stay up. I think they're good enough to stay up. I think they've got a good enough manager and a decent enough squad. Be interesting to see what they do when they get some pennies spent more again. In maybe in January, we may see a few movements in January. But obviously, I think the summertime will be the moment for them to splash a bit of cash.
Yeah, completely agree. I'm going to read out some comments and we'll go on to the last but not least, the dreaded one.
Chris
It's horrible. I know. I'm trying to pretend that I don't have to do it, but I do. But I'm in Dubai. He's in Dubai right now, and he's going to the University of Manchester. There you go, people.
Good lad. Good charge, Chris, mate. I'm telling you, you'll love it there, mate.
United game. Yeah, well, we're about to get onto that now. Life without Ings. Big up, Matt. That's from Solo.
Yes, Solo. Bargav as well.
Bargav. Congratulations, Chris. Ollie is at the wheel. Free Pogba and keep Ole. No, not happening. Hi, Talk. Hope you're okay, bro. Big up, Stephen. Okay. So last but not least, here we go, Lauren. You were at the game, of course. Difficult headache for 2/3 days now, nearly. Horrible result. I'm pretty sure you could sum it up in a very brief moment.
Was a surprise? No. Did we play like a drunk Sunday League team who were smoking 20 fags? Yes. Do we have any ideas? No. Liverpool were the much better team. We absolutely deserved that. We probably deserved 10-0 loss, if I'm honest with you, because there was absolutely nothing good on that pitch, bar De Gea. He didn't deserve that. He's the only player and staff member who did not deserve that 5-0 defeat. There wasn't a single outfield player who even deserved a draw. Half of them didn't deserve to be on the pitch. Pogba got brought on when we were 4-0 down, 5-0 down for, you've disrespected me at this, bringing me on at this time thinking I'm going to save you. I'd rather have an early shower. See ya. I'm off. We deserved it.
We did.
Simple
We did.
as.
we can be humble in defeat, can't we, Lauren? That's the good thing about it. It's.
Can I clarify though? Me saying that we deserve it is not me wanting us to lose to like get rid of Ollie or anything. I'm just saying this scoreline, the players as well deserved defeat because they did not play proper football. They did not play Premier League football on Sunday.
I would say, I don't know if you agree with me. It was one of the worst performances I think I've ever seen from Man United. I can't remember anything as bad. I know
it was like having like Bebe on the pitch. All our bad Brazilian signings were all on that pitch in one game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, 11 Bebes on the field. Actually, 10. Because De Gea was doing well, like you said, so we can't actually call him a Bebe. Talk. I know you hurt about it too. Of course, every United fan would be hurt about it. But what's your thoughts on the game, mate, and the result?
Well, look, I mean, Liverpool can only play what's in front of them. You know, I'm not going to take too much out of Liverpool's performance because what was put in front of them was exceptionally weak, mentally, physically, in a sense of attitude, application. And you know what? It all spells out. You know, it's there. It's hanging over Old Trafford. You can see it if you go and look. Yeah. Lack of confidence. They're on the floor. There's no confidence at all. Zero. Right? They're on the floor. And I don't know if this is going to be my question tonight to Mr. J. Motti is, you know what? Can Ollie, listen, they're giving Ollie whatever it is now, the 3 games. And like, it seems to me 3 games to save his job. But is Ollie strong enough to pick them players up? Has he got the character to pick these players up off the floor? Because you know what? Paul Pogba's facial expressions when he came on tells you everything you need to know. He came on, he was laughing. And exactly like you said, Lauren, he was laughing. He was saying, wait a minute, what the fucking hell do you expect me to do here? I can't, you know, he's like, what am I supposed to do? You're 4-0 down in this Liverpool team. They're going to, they're pressing the ball. And that's what we're talking about. I had this conversation in a chat with someone called Bath Time with Vaughan. He was talking about the mid-block. And I'm like, yeah, but even if you're doing a mid-block, you've still got to press the ball. You can't just stand static. You've got to put pressure on the ball. Doesn't matter what formation you're playing, you've got to put pressure on the ball. You know, and if you're going to do it individually, then there has to be really good cover and a good understanding between players to fill spaces, block passing lanes, etc. And for us, that it just did not work. The 4-2-4 again, because the gap and distance between the forwards and the 2 midfielders was just crazy. And you know, it was a total mismatch of individual ability with whatever plan it is that Ollie was trying to get them to do. I think they were trying to, like, it must have sounded like Ollie was speaking another language to them when he was asking them to do what they would do, because they certainly didn't understand what he was trying to do. There's no 2 ways about that. But you know, can Ollie actually pick these boys up and get them at it? I find it hard to believe that he can, because what would he have to do? What would he have to do? Let me put it this way for you. I'll put it a bit in a bit of a simple way. Manchester United, right? What are we? We're a winning club. We're a massive club. We win. You get told by your agent, Man United won't sign you. Ooh, okay. Well, yeah, Man United, they're a winning club. They play great football. Great. You go to Man United. What do you end up doing? Not playing great football and not winning. Then when you've got somebody then trying to convince you, oh, we're getting there. We're so close. But you're not playing the right players. Negative type of football. 4-2-3-1 is neither attack nor defense. It's halfway. It's half and half. You know what I mean? So there you're already on the back foot. You're thinking, wait a minute, I thought we were, you know, go out here and play good football and put the pressure on the opposition and beat them. So there's a lot of things that have Ollie's done a lot of great things at the club, but he's kind of let a lot of bad things happen around it as well. Now that it's starting to overflow into the squad, and I think they're actually drowning in it. And I don't know if he's got, like I say, the strength to actually pull them out of that mire quick enough in any time.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, giving him more time as well, I think it's a bit ridiculous. But look, okay, we'll go and see how we do against Spurs. It's on Saturday at 5:30, isn't it? We're playing Spurs. I'm also going in quickly because we will save more talk about Man United on for Thursday's show, but yeah. Quick.
Well, it's going to look. It's got for me. This Spurs, he's got to drop the 4-2-3-1 if he's going to save his. If he's going to save these boys, he's got to drop that, and he's got to go 4-3-3, all out, wallop, bang, have it.
Yeah,
have it.
Agreed.
Simple.
I am going to the under 23s game on Saturday, Man United versus Spurs. So I will do some content for that, and hopefully maybe try and speak to a few people if I can. Because I know a few people at Stevenage that are high up, so maybe I might be able to sort something out. Right, okay, then quickly look at the league table then. Not looking good for us, I know, but Chelsea right at the top there on 22 points. It's so close, though, 21, 20, 17 for West Ham. West Ham are doing great. They've pushed up above Brighton. Tottenham, I mean, okay, they lost, but they're still in 6th position. Us, 7th. Joint with Arsenal in 10th, Leicester in 9th, and Everton in 8th. That's a tricky one. And Wolves are obviously a point behind there in 11th. What do you make of this table, peeps?
I think it's great to see the likes of West Ham and Brighton up there. Obviously, I know that we are still very early in the league, but it is just nice to kind of have them kind of teams up there. And I do genuinely think West Ham are going to stay kind of in that top between like the 4th and the 7th. I can genuinely see that. I think it's hard to look at when we're eight off the top already. There's a lot of points to climb. I mean, the likes of Leeds, I never thought I'd see down there in the 2nd season, but Brentford doing really well. I think it's most teams are kind of where you'd think they were, with just 1 or 2 surprises, whether they're good or bad.
I mean, look at Norwich, 2 points. That's 2 draws, not even a win yet. Who are they going to get it against? Who do you think they'll get the first win against if they get a win this season? That is,
I think it'll be in January against like one of the top 7. I think it'll be in January against one of the top 7 when it's been, they've had that kind of Christmas period, back to back, few injuries, players missing AFCON and blah blah. Then I think that's where they might just do it, but that'll be probably about it. But that table for me, I mean, Chelsea, you know what, at the moment, but I do still believe that it's Manchester City's to lose. Even it's only it's 2 points, but there's no way Chelsea are going to go on and win every single game from here. There's 29 games to be played. That's a lot of games. It's an awful lot of games.
We're far away.
Injured now. Lukaku's injured now. And then what is he? How quickly do they bring him back? There's some of these teams in here are going to give you an absolutely terrible game, and it's those games where you're going to pick up these injuries. So I don't see it for me. I just think it's going to be. I think Manchester City, like I say, are the winners. As it stands right now for us, as it stands, I think we'll be very, very lucky to stay in the top 4 and probably even the top 6.
Yeah.
But if things change, then maybe we can definitely say we might just about secure top 4. But everybody else, Leeds is a surprise, most definitely. And West Ham, I'm not sure. Listen, I know what you're saying, Lauren, about West Ham, but at the end of the day, I think he's as good as a job as he's doing there, David Moyes. He's gonna. I just think they're going to slip down. I think they are going to slip down. I think West Ham are going to end up probably sort of like 6th, 7th, or 8th. I would put West Ham up. I think, and I think, like I say, for Arsenal, because of the way they're sort of trotting along now, I'm going to definitely get Arsenal are going to finish in that top 6 for me. Brighton, can Brighton hold on to that position and that status?
I don't think so.
No, I don't either. It's going to be too much. Tottenham possibly can, but Brighton, I don't believe they can.
No, I agree. Actually, I think they might slump down a little bit there, but I still think they might still be able to maybe contend for Europa League places. I think maybe finishing 8th, 7th, possibly they could do that. I think that's probably what they're going to be looking at, just trying to stay up there as long as possible. Okay, we're on the hour mark, so we have got to finish it off. Wanted to pick my player of the week. sorry, of the weekend was Mason Mount for scoring that hat trick. And I know you two had the same player in the end, and unfortunately, it is
Mo Salah.
Yeah,
Hat-trick, best player
to.
in the world at the moment.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, he's a great son. And do you know what? For me, I did mention this on a Liverpool channel, and they got rather irate about it, but it's just facts. Listen, he wants 500 grand a week, Mo Salah, and Liverpool are not going to pay him that. Them FSG are not going to pay him 500 grand a week because it's going to upset the whole equilibrium of what Jurgen Klopp is doing there. And it's just not going to happen. I don't see it happening. I really don't. And I think he'll be on his way. Mo Salah. I really do.
He's done enough, though. He's done enough to seal his status there, hasn't he, Lauren? So,
of course, yes.
Oh God, yeah, he'll be remembered. Has he made a legend status yet? Times to come.
Some would say.
Not too sure.
But Liverpool fans actually do think he has. But I mean, there's people outside of that frame of mind that actually think he's got a little bit more to do, which is fair enough. Right, we'll finish it off there because we've all got things to do, I'm pretty sure. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Please do smash subscribe, share, and like if you can, and let's tell everybody where they can find us. Lauren, go first. Where can you find you?
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Lauren Page Souls, football, boxing, and F1 over there.
Brilliant. Cheers, Lauren. Talk.
Usual place. Twitter, I Talk MU and the Man United Agenda, and on this channel.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll be back possibly Sunday. Yeah.
Yes.
For this weekend's results. And we should be back on Thursday for United Across the Globe. Football United Airways will return next week. We're talking about the Dutch League, and we're also talking about the Belgium League, maybe merging together with the Dutch League at some point in the next few years. Don't know if you ever heard that, Lauren.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, this has apparently been sort of said that it's going to happen eventually in the next few years.
Interesting. I can't quite understand that, but
I mean, I kind of can, because obviously they struggle to get views in, and if you're merging with another country like Belgium,
you've then got two audiences put together, haven't you?
You get Club Brugge versus Ajax, PSV versus all the other teams. I mean, like Antwerp as well, haven't they? So we'll talk about that anyway on Football United Airways. But until Thursday, take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week, and see you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
Oh, I actually pressed the wrong button.